What's going on, everybody? It's Elijah, and a few of you guys who have been asking me stuff like that, saying, hey, have you heard on what happened with AOTR values and stuff like that? If you guys don't know, I'm partnered with this server. It used to be called, I believe, AOTR values or something like that. The server is still technically trading, but there's been some stuff that recently went on when I was taking my little bit of a 2-3 week hiatus, or some personal stuff that was going on. If you guys don't know what happened, go watch my video before this one. You guys will see. But if you guys don't know, my name is Elijah. I do a trade series on L2W trades, and a lot that I actually use when I'm actually doing to the L2W series trades is this actual Discord and AOTR values website. Recently, while I was gone, there was some stuff that went down that happened that apparently made it where this server is no longer up in a thing anymore. I'm not going to go into full detail or anything about that, about what really happened with the server, because like I said, I was in hiatus, so I really wasn't there to actually witness it or see any of the screenshots or anything along those lines. But Zoro, who is the owner of the server, pretty much said that, there were some screenshots leaked 5-7 days ago, which this was October 3rd when this came up, pretty much saying that there was clearly an intended joke, evil laugh included, saying stuff devs not caring, bringing back old values, manipulating values, etc. He pretty much stated that he did not mean any of this. This was all a joke, and this was taken out of context. And yeah, he knows it looks bad. He didn't know exactly who leaked it along the line. It was a low-level person on human role, anything along those lines. And saying from the start, we use things such as visitors mats, cast, Maharaga wheel, and base values. We started since the beginning, unofficially transparent on how the values work and what the usually values list is. Usually a lot of people use this server for the values list on knowing, for some reason AOTR, the values list was in keys and increments of keys. The values list certainly became a value of keys. So if you guys didn't know, you would look up a video, or you would look up how much it was worth. It would say this item is worth 1,500 keys, and people would trade an item or scrolls or keys or anything along those lines of another item worth about 1,500, or try to break even or a little bit of a W so that they can get more stuff. Since I don't know anything that was on those screenshots or anything along those lines, since those screenshots got leaked, the server pretty much, the AOTR owners, which is Evo and EK and stuff like that, contacted Zoro and them saying, hey, transfer ownership so that we can look into it. And they came to an investigation agreement. And when they transferred ownership, pretty much the server got bombed, which pretty much means that the server, a lot of the stuff was deleted. And they pretty much told the Zoro and all them saying that you guys can keep the server up and you guys can still do the WRL trades. You guys can still keep up the looking for trading and the trading and stuff like that. But you guys can no longer control or post anything about the values list. So since the values list was taken down, that was the only reason they were allowed to gain back ownership. As you can see, we appreciate all the support, managed to get ownership back, but under the condition of we won't run values anymore. That said, since AOTR is it could be unreasonable to have a trading or a WL, so these will remain. As you can see, they're no longer going to do this, so that this website is pretty much going to be down indefinitely. What does this mean for trading and all this other stuff? Well, there's a few options. We have the memory of what the values list was for the trading. I don't think specifically that AOTR is going to do their own trading value website or anything like that. I don't think they're going to touch anything like that. They got so much on their schedule and so much on their books that they don't really care for it unless they create another team for it. Trade values anymore, they changed their name to Trading Corps because they wanted to, kind of not mess with AOTR, have AOTR in their name anymore, and probably because personal reasons or conflict or anything along those lines. It is what it is. But the problem with it now is that we don't have a values list anymore. So we technically have the memory of everything saying, hey, Fritz is worth 1,500 keys and Helos is worth 2,200 keys or something like that. But we don't have an official list. The only thing you can actually do now for AOTR values is if you go on Google and you type in AOTR values, there's the old website, which is Value Vault, which the problem is this is very outdated. Value Vault, I think this was before they announced update 4 and stuff like that. So it pretty much for instance, the Maharaga wheel on here is only worth 400 keys. Fritz is worth 650. Wings, all that. They're all the old before the update of the tier list and stuff like that. What does this mean for trading? Well, trading is now going to become more along the lines, in my opinion, unless they release another values list, trading is going to be a lot harder nowadays because no one's going to have a definite definition of what the values list is going to be anymore. Everyone's going to kind of have to try to take a guesstimate on trading and saying, hey, I remember this from my head. There's no trade calculator anymore, anything like that. So you can't really add a whole bunch of stuff that people offer to see if you're taking an L or W. So it's kind of to the point where you're like, oh, well, I have to kind of just go based off of value and think off the top of my head on what I want to take for a trade. There is a trade calculator on here, but like I said, all this stuff is old and outdated. So really the only thing that you can do, if you want to keep trading, try to remember what the values were if you were good on trading. And if you want to keep trading, the only thing you can really do nowadays, since the trade value list for the official AOTR values is down, the only thing you can really do is either stop trading and hopefully it'll come back up in the future, which I don't see it happening. I don't think AOTR officially is going to tamper with anything to do with the values list, and I don't think they're going to give them permission on the Discord saying, hey, you can go for it. But who knows? I'll try to throw a word out there. I'll try to contact them. I am in contact with some of the people in AOTR or what could be done, but you know, I'm not going to be able to do much in that aspect. So really, we only have one or two options, or really three options. We could either one, go back to the old values list, which is this website, and try to trade based off that, which a lot of people's not going to want to do because they're going to be taking a lot of L's. Two, memory. And three is pretty much stop trading. And if you do trade based off of what you want, not based off the value, and trade what you want to get. There is really no other way. I don't see anything. I'm definitely going to try to keep my series of L to W trades going. I don't know how I'm going to do it since the values list is now gone. I'm hopefully going to try to. So it is what it is. I'm not going to get into any personal reasons or anything like that on what's going on with it. I have absolutely zero clue on what happened in those screenshots, what was being said besides what they said in announcements. I can't really say anything for that. But if you guys do want to play AOTR with me and join trades and stuff like that, be sure you guys come follow me on Twitch and make sure you guys hit that sub button and join out my Discord server in the description down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.